if and when Aaron Glenn does leave Detroit and he's no longer the defensive coordinator, what do you think is the Lions' plans to replace him at defensive coordinator? Do you think they might potentially go in-house, or do you think they go outside of the organization and maybe go that route?
It's an interesting question for sure. I will say this. It's a good thing that Aaron Glenn was nearly the coach of the New Orleans Saints. It's a good thing everybody wanted to interview him. It's a good thing that they think he'll be gone next year, because more so in the college game, I suppose. But you look at Alabama, you look Georgia, New England in the pros. There's a reason, like, those coaches, they lose them every year. That means they're good at their job. That means they're doing what they're supposed to do. I want to have what everybody else wants. That's a good thing. So even though Glenn is probably gone after this year, that's fine. I like the fact that we get one more year of him. Like, we're playing with house money now. And then you get the opportunity for all these other guys around him, for Aaron Glenn to rub off on them, pass along some of his wisdom, give them a little bit of what he has that has everybody in the NFL attracted to him. So I do enjoy that. Whether or not he leaves next year, either way, I'm glad to have him. I do think he will do a good job. I do think the defense will be better this year. I have a lot of faith in Aaron Glenn. But as far as him moving on, that's kind of, I don't know, it's tough. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they went out of house. Just, I feel like the way Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do things, they would just look for the best guy for the job, no matter who he is or where he comes from. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they kept it in-house. I feel like Aubery Pleasant gets talked about quite a bit, whether it's in the news or players. I feel like he has a pretty good rep within the building and with the fans. So I wouldn't be surprised if and when Glenn moves along, if Pleasant is at least interviewed, tried out, whatever you want to say, for the DC position. What about you? What do you think?
I'll probably be a little bit of a disagreement with you, because I don't want Aaron Glenn to leave. I don't want him to leave at all.
I don't want him to leave, but he will.
The thing about it is that, again, bittersweet. If Aaron Glenn were to leave, it definitely would be a good reflection on Dan Campbell, because when you talk about head coaches, one of the other ways they build their legacy is their coaching trees. If they don't necessarily do well in winning Super Bowls or playoff appearances, so on and so forth, how well do they churn out coaches? When it comes, for example, Bill Belichick, the guy's got Super Bowl wins up the wazoo. But when it comes to developing coaches, yeah, it's a pretty nasty, ugly little list, because practically every coach that's left him to go and be a head coach on their own, maybe except Mike Vrabel, has just been absolute misery. Like, none of them do any really good. So for me, if Aaron Glenn were to leave and he goes out and he actually starts being a good coach in his own right, that's going to look well on Dan Campbell. Again, I wouldn't like him to leave. I guarantee you there's not a lot of people that would. But if he does, I mean, I'd just be like Dan Campbell. Good for him. I hope he has success. Now, as far as who the Lions would most likely, bring in to be the new defensive coordinator, again, I think they go straight to the jugular of the situation. They go right after Aubery Pleasant. Again, Aubery Pleasant is one of those guys that a lot of people have had in coaching carousel talks over the years about potentially becoming a defensive coordinator. And when he has success at that, then becoming a head coach in his own right. Again, right. Aubery Pleasant is just a guy he's on the rise. I see him as a very popular, charismatic coach. And I think that works well in Detroit. You need a guy that can communicate with these guys. And again, he's played the positions in the NFL. I think if Aaron Glenn leaves, he would be the next logical choice to be the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a